Game 2, I just want to see a bit of a difference maybe out of them. Maybe look at banning the way. I mean, they took away Jing Wei from Ataraxia and he goes for Freya. Well,
Right.
I guess you're going to have to ban one of those two, but if you don't, you're going to give something else up. They banned Nemesis last time as well. They know Twig will play that one. I don't know what to say whether they want to try and switch things up this time.
I don't know where they will go. We'll take a look at the picks and bans come out. And like I said, there's nothing that really hurt me for Cyclone.
Nope.
I'm not sitting here saying, man, they need to fix this pick and ban. Even with the oddball Poseidon pick, not too thrown off by that.
The only bad news about the Poseidon is the Kraken is telegraphed every single time. We all know it's telegraphed. It's the same way the Vulcan is telegraphed as well. You hear it coming before it happens. And it does give that little leeway where we saw the tier doesn't have a great matchup against it, but as I said, Lawbring gets him away, and he did that in the game.
Susano, the first ban here, will be answered back by an Ao Kwang ban coming out from CycloneGG.
So
HFM, your first pick.
If it is Hungry for More on the left-hand side this time, and it is there in these picks and bans, then we probably won't see a Nemesis ban here. They'll probably go for something else here, look for Nemesis for themselves, and that's what it seems to be.
Yeah, the Bacchus will be banned away by Hungry for More, so no heavy initiation.
Well, now it's Fafnir or Nemesis. Oh, this is a nice little interesting one for them. So Cyclone have given a decision to Hungry for More. Would you like Nemesis or would you like Fafnir here, boys? Because whichever one you don't take, we're taking the other one.
Now, I know CaptainTwig loves Hunbats, and CaptainTwig had a fantastic Hunbats game, and in fact, Hungry for More play a strong Hunbats because Hunbats is a team pick, not necessarily an individual pick. Is it worth the ban, do you think? I think that's a heavy ban.
Onto the Hunbats?
Yeah.
I think it's to give a flex option. Is to make Hungry for More make a decision.
Sure.
The standard 4 bans we know, Susano, Ao Kwang, Nemesis, Fafnir, right? You switch up one of those bans, you give yourself an opportunity to get that pick. If they're also going to ban Bacchus like Hungry for More did here, then it opens 2 picks up, so it means you get 1. They take Fafnir for themselves, and they take Prime's Vulcan.
Because Hungry for More, they're going to go with the Nemesis. We know that CaptainTwig and Hungry for More like to play the Nemesis selection, so that leaves Fafnir and the Vulcan taking away the combination with the Nemesis.
And what do you take?
Yeah.
You take Sobek.
Yeah.
Take Sobek, and Raijin could be picked up here as well for Hungry for More for the standard trio that we've seen out of them. It's a very interesting tactical picks and bans as usual here. Raijin for mid lane, I'm down for that. Sobek, Nemesis, Raijin together, perfect. There you go.
Very smart stuff coming out from Cyclone, and honestly, not a surprise. Collis, and I think a lot of fans at home who are newer to the name, Collis is a real strategic guy. You know, a little fun anecdote from DreamHack. He sat in for Tricks Tank. You know the game Othello? It's very simple. It's similar to Go. It's just you surround your opponent, tactical, strategic. Collis beat all the EU boys in the breakfast lunch area, just one by one, just plowing them down.
That's how they practice picks and bans.
Strategic mindset coming out of Collis.
We say strategic mindset coming out from Cyclone here, but Hungry for More answered it immediately. They saw what was going on. They're like, all right, we'll take Nemesis still.
Well, I mean, Ataraxia is no slouch.
I mean, the big thing here is what they do against the Fafnir. The one thing they don't really want to try and do is focus Fafnir with the plucks into the Nemesis ultimates, into the Raijin. Because if he just gets that half a second Fafnir before landing to be able to channel his ultimate, that ultimate from PrettyPriMe is not going to go through at all. And that's what you're looking for with this combo.
For sure.
Oh, no, it's a lie. Oh, actually, no, it's not a lie. It's
Nope,
Sobek
no,
support.
you're good.
For a second, I was like, Ymir support for PANDALIKE. No, Variety's been playing that a lot as well, so mixing it up.
I think it's a coin flip.
This time around, I want to say Variety solo on Ymir.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure I'll say that.
Why is that?
Just because he's quite happy to play in the aggressive matchups against Ravana in the early stages as well. He can kind of weather the storm of the Ravana beatdown that comes through and then turn the tables a little bit. On top of that, the synergy with a Sobek in the support role feels a little bit stronger with me with this core of the 3 of them.
Xbalanque, the late game hunter of choice for Cyclone, he'll be going against Rama. Hungry for More's draft. Now, see, I like the picks and ban phase coming out from Cyclone because while there's a lot of things on this draft that HFM would normally pick, the solo Ymir, the Sobek, CaptainTwig, Ataraxia, and PrettyPriMe, I mean, these characters are fine. I'm not saying that Hungry for More are in a bad spot, but the picks and ban phase for HFM has definitely been altered by Cyclone's draft and bans.
I think the big thing from Hungry for More's hunter position here with Rama being picked up this game is mainly for that a little bit of survivability in the hunter role. The ultimate will take him out of combat for 6 seconds into the sky, gives his team a chance to rotate round, but also for him to avoid things like the Darkest of Nights and the Vulcan ultimate combination, the Thor dunks coming down too. What he's trying to do Hungry for More here by picking that Rama this game as well, not that he's just a standard pick anyway, but they're also trying to turn attention elsewhere in the game, and guess where they're trying to return the attention to?
Solo lane.
they want them to focus on Ymir. The main reason Ymir, because he's very anti-mobile. Thor's going to get shut him down. Vulcan can connect onto him too. So why not try and make the Cyclone boys in their head think about focusing solo instead on the Ymir and allow the Rama to freeform?
At the same time, Hunger for More are totally fine with that.
Yeah.
A Nemesis ultimate into damage from Ymir, the character is easily toast.
I wouldn't mind seeing an invade come out one of these days against the Ymir. I mean, although Ymir early game is not something you really want to walk into in the jungle, but he has gone for the Vanguard, which means his damage isn't as high as, it can be if he goes for the Vamp Shroud start or something like that, and the power pot of Days of Old, which he can't do anymore. So there is a chance for an invade against the Nemesis Ymir here, against the Glacial Strike, especially for a Ravana and Thor. Berserker Barrage, very, very good, especially if Glacial Strike is used and not Frost Breath.
With the Nemesis, I'll say yes.
Yes.
With the Nemesis.
The
virtually any other character in the jungle, I don't know about that one.
Well, Al Kwang, same sort of way.
Yeah, Nemesis.
Yeah, there's a few that you could do it with.
You grab a Freya.
And that's one of the reasons Guardians kind of struggled sometimes in solo lane, was because of the chance of invades coming out against them. At the moment, we don't see many teams really exploiting the Guardian being put into the solo lane with these invades in the jungle if the jungler is a weak start.
Exactly. I mean, risk versus reward, right? Like, what are you going to get out of it if you drop the ball? But in any event, Hungry for More, able to clean up those right side Harpies.
I like this rotation from Hungry for More. Do the rights, leave the fire elementals alone, try and slow them down a little bit. However, Wlfy very wisely going and doing the left-hand Harpies on his own here. It does put Ice behind, however. That's the big talking point on this one. Ice falls behind by this rotation from Hungry for More.
And Wlfy forced into an odd pathing because of his rotation. CaptainTwig gets aggressive in the enemy jungle, finds a slow.
Experienced Wlfy, though, throws the meatball out, doesn't panic, doesn't immediately run away and just get hit in the back for free.
I mean, experienced Wlfy, just taking that pathing is experience. He could have came in the dangerous way and just got smoked.
Well, here's the funny thing now, because the mid wave was actually lost quite a bit of experience to Wlfy and actually went to Ice instead. I said Ice was behind, but now it's both of them in the mid lane and now behind by that little error of comedy going on from Hungry for More.
Just a little bit of pressure pushed in the mid lane from HFM now allows that to be exerted onto the back Harpies. You can see the invade coming out from CaptainTwig and PrettyPriMe right onto those two. And Ice is going to say, hey, anything you can do, I can do better. And he'll do the same thing by himself, getting a little bit more farm for the jungle.
As soon as he hits 5, though, I want to see him maybe collapsing onto the left-hand lane here, looking for a bit of pressure onto the Rama and Sobek, because they have lane dominance here early on in the duo lane, and it's in a very good position for them. So I would like to see Ice maybe look at a gank on this left-hand side, focusing on the Rama predominantly.
This might put him to 5. CaptainTwig's here to try and steal one away just underneath level 5. So iceicebabyy now on the run.
But he's getting caught off at the same time by PrettyPriMe on the right-hand side here. PrettyPriMe only level 4, though. Going to find out Raijin get free damage. The double tap used to escape. Not going to Thunder Crash in, though, Prime. I think he's a little bit wary of Wlfy, who did just hit 5.
Exactly, and with that Vulcan ultimate, the team has to be very careful. Can't walk in a predictable pattern, so we see the guys on HFM sort of retreat and go back into their lair.
I like the little disarm coming out from Callus there, but it's a bit too early to really do anything. Just trying to slow down the wave clear a little bit, but already VoteNBK was backing up anyway, so still the lane being dominated by Hungry for More push power.
Things even across the board. Hungry for More had a lot of push beforehand, but now sort of relinquished that after going for the jungle invades and waiting for the next real respawn of these.
There's the ult for Ymir. Here we go. Down we go with the ultimate full combo win, and that's what you're looking to do in the early stages. That's why one of the reasons I said Rama's like pretty safe, but makes it more difficult to find the kill on the Rama. That time round on a Ymir, very slow moving target. Easy pickup. Like
we said, Ymir got to be careful of his early game damage, so if you're trying to sneak up on him, that's going to be trouble. But if you have a Thor ult out of the sky, Ymir, low mobility, absolutely
and it's not
gets
just that,
destroyed.
Though. It's also he's got no purification as well left on. In the early stages, you get a hard CC and you don't have purification, you're probably going back to base, and not because you want to.
Nope. Going to take the long way home. Teleport coming out, so that'll bring him back to lane. PANDALIKE looking for the pluck. Nice backfire, but predicted. Wlfy tossed in and knocked up. And there's going to be the ultimate out of both Sobek and the mid lane. Taunt's good, but the damage not. Backfire right out of PANDALIKE's ultimate.
Now, the biggest thing there was Prime did not trust in PANDALIKE to land that pull, because if he did, he expected a purification to come out from Wlfy, which was actually not available because he had Sanctuary, as you saw. And if Prime would have recognized that, he could have channeled the ultimate a lot earlier, which would have set up the kill.
Not going to be the case this time around. PANDALIKE in trouble. Dash off the mark one more time.
So it's just a good start from Cyclone overall now. They weather the storm in mid lane from the aggression of the Sobek Raijin combination. Obviously, CaptainTwig wasn't available there. CaptainTwig, on the Nemesis, I mean, he'll be there when he can, but his main focus is farming. That's what he loves to do.
Exactly. And I mean, on the Nemesis, this is a character that is item dependent. She's going to be an ult bot until very, 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 very late game. And I stress that.
No, just all game, not very. Just all in.
I mean, once you reach the late game, you got your chin size and a whole bunch of attack speed, and you're able to do it.
Yeah, great, but then you still get 2-shot unless you get your shield up in time.
All right, so you just always ult bot?
You just ult bot. That's all you're there for. It's the same way that Sobek's kind of just a pluck bot.
Sure.
He's just a knock-up bot over and over again. Just keep him busy. And that guy's just annoyance.
Annoyance is certainly... Yes.
Annoyance that can have damage sometimes. That's the big difference between these two over in the lane. And I like the idea that he's starting to do this more and more. It's funny that, once again, Europe bring out Ymir. I don't know why we love Ymir so much in Europe, but we do. We see him more predominantly in Europe than we do in North America every time.
It's a classic. You can't
Ymir
go wrong with it.
Ymir and Ares are boys, I'll tell you that now.
Just Iceman, big walls, just standard control.
We used to the cold, that's what it is.
The cold?
We used to the cold. That's why Ymir, like, we feel Ymir.
Well, there's a freeze and the under hit
but here
on
we
the
go again,
Deathwalker.
round 2.
Ice looking for the stun, finds it, walled off as well. There's a spin around and the wall separates one, but it doesn't matter. Deathwalker's enough, and that'll put 2 on the board for Cyclone.
Notice Deathwalker still had his ultimate up if he needed it to. Didn't even use it there, didn't have to use it, knew they would be able to get it, and if he did manage to get away, like he nearly tried to, they pick it up. Also, from what I can tell there, I'm hoping Cyclone are communicating when that Frost is being used by Variety, because I think that's what's happened twice now.
Yep.
We've watched the lane, he's frozen twice, and immediately Thor comes down knowing that there's no anti-CC.
Trouble for Ice in the jungle. CaptainTwig is surrounded now. There's an ultimate right back in the mid lane. Vulcan gonna pop up, but...
That was a really smart ult coming out from CaptainTwig there, sorry, on the Nemesis. Under pressure, in a little bit of trouble. So what does he do? He ults Callus on the rotation to steal his protections in case they keep committing to him.
And also just keeping Callus a little bit honest there. If he gets too deep, maybe he gets attacked. So a lot of options there. But this is a game that is more reminiscent of what Cyclone was able to do earlier in the week. We saw Ice just make one play, get a kill, small farm. Make another play, get a kill, small farm. Ice on this Thor. I say it all the time. Thor players can set the pace of a game, and this is what Ice is doing.
It's composition-wise for each team, and that's generally what you do in every single game of Smite, is through picks and bans, you're like, what's our composition going to do here? Well, early game for Cyclone here, they've got the Thor to really initiate, try and find some picks for the map. He'll be looking around the map going, where are my viable targets? One of them is Ataraxia, but like we said about the ultimates and stuff, one of them is the Ymir, so he pressures there. Meanwhile, VoteNBK is the late game of this team, so if they can weather the storm of the early game, the early game, mid-game, they'll have a bit of a fall-off point where Wlfy will help them out with Callus as well. And then when they get to the later stages, they do have that hyper carry in Xbalanque. Meanwhile, Hungry for More, different comp.
That's what you got to keep your eyes on, is that Xbalanque, like you said, across the way. Hungry for More, their composition going to really hit go right about now, a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Variety really coming together with PrettyPriMe and PANDALIKE are going to be able to do.
They won't be upset, Hungry for More here. They'll be quite comfortable so far with how this game's gone. Obviously, losing kills is not something you're happy about, but you're not lost to Gold Fury here. The only person that's died is a Ymir solo lane. He's still going to be a brute force tank in the late stages. He can be 5 levels down, and he's still going to throw down walls and freezes every now and again.
But by doing what Cyclone are doing to Variety, they'll really neuter what Variety's able to do towards the mid-game. Like we said, this mid-game is very important for Hungry for More. They want to set up PrettyPriMe with ultimates out of CaptainTwig, and Variety's damage will still be relevant. Cyclone dealing as much damage and attention to Variety right now. His control will be relevant, but will his damage? Cyclone need that answer to be no, which is why Ice is focusing so much on Ymir.
Well, hopefully Deathwalker can make an impact with this assist that he's been getting from Ice there over in that right-hand side as well, and try and push this game forward and get a little bit more dominant with the rotations.
Yeah, Deathwalker's had a little bit of a slow start to the season, but Cyclone not off to a slow start towards the objectives. Goldfury already half down, little slingshot from the Vulcan, and very quickly Goldfury goes down.
Look at the call, peace, everybody out. Nobody hanging around, nobody wants to get caught here. PANDALIKE still looking for someone to punish. That's all he's doing there, like, give me someone to punish for that kill, and I can't. Hungry for More now, going to try and pressure mid lane to answer back, but because Cyclone got out so clean, they can defend this tier 1 in mid.
So clean. Wow. And again, there's a reason behind... Wow. CaptainTwig picks up Wlfy after the damage out of the mid lane. That's what Cyclone was not expecting.
It's traded out, and they get the tier 1 tower stands, so that works out in Cyclone's favor anyway.
Exactly. There's a reason for all the meta, right? And the reason we always see the tier 1 tower destroyed after the Gold Fury of the enemy team is because, well, the players that got the Gold Fury are low HP. They don't have as many tools available. This time around, though, like you said, great disengage coming out from Cyclone, so they are able to defend.
And they've really shown how strong they are at objective focus. In terms of knowing when to go for it, they seem to communicate that very well and realize it at the right time too.
Well done. Hungry for more. Finally get themselves on the board. I say finally. It's really early in the game. Cyclone has just made this one seem a little bit more active than the rest of the afternoon. 2,500 gold in the lead. This CycloneGG.
We say active, but I mean, there's only been 4 kills, and nowadays we're expecting to kill a minute with how some of the games have gone this season overall. I think we've been a bit spoiled with kills after. We're so used to so heavy kill games that when they slow down for a second or two, everybody kind of like, hang on a minute, why is it so slow?
Maybe just a little bit. Cyclone, on the other hand, looking for a good play. You can see Ice in the wings, waiting to come around. Doesn't have the ultimate, but certainly will be able to find a stun through the wall and the double tap.
Good wall. Just a nice little bit of poke over the wall, see how much he's doing as well. And so one thing Thors will do sometimes, and you won't notice it, but they'll throw out the hammer, get the double tap, won't jump to it, because they're like, how much am I chunking you for? Oh, you are squishy. Oh, well, the next time I have that up, I'll go in after the double tap.
As opposed to the shot on Nemesis. Oh,
see, look at that.
I didn't do much.
So he double tapped Ataraxia there and went, yeah, I got a chunk.
Yep.
So now he'd be like, Ataraxia is still tasty for me.
Exactly. Always got to be attentive to see how much damage you're actually doing versus on paper.
Hungry for More really needs to start grouping up with their trio in mid lane, though. PandaLike keeps hanging off to the side here, trying to support elsewhere on the map. I want to see him make the trio work. We've seen it before, and if they can just find the pluck into a Nemesis ultimate, they're going to find 3 kills in mid lane every single time. They're just going to keep doing it. The difference is, though, is that Cyclone know this. They've been around a while themselves. They would have seen the Pro League and know what this comp's about.
Nemesis now in a little bit of trouble, but more zoning than anything else. PrettyPriMe able to go ahead and pick up those mid harpies. Now PandaLike in jungle, looking towards enemy red buff.
I want to see Cyclone start trying to rotate Deathwalker out of lane a little bit more now. Deathwalker's got a massive lead, and once he finishes off that Breastplate of Valor, if it's going to be a Breastplate of Valor, he's in a really good spot to lead this team in now and actually start trying to force things on the map. They could look to try and group up a little bit earlier. Yes, it's only 11 minutes in, but they could start looking at maybe pressuring a tier 1 tower, forcing Hungry for More to try and defend somewhere and find an opportunity elsewhere because of it.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lead. You've built a lead in this solo lane.
Yeah.
You can see over 1,000 gold in the direction of Ravana. Obviously the kills, and then almost a level and a half to 2 levels here on the way of Deathwalker.
I mean, if you can have Deathwalker swing mid lane here, right, and the 4 members pressure mid, well, then you leave a 1v1 for Xbalanque in the left-hand side against Ataraxia just to farm up. And if Ataraxia makes a rotation to try and support his team, then you're going to get free tier 1 tower, or Xbalanque is getting more free farm.
Yeah, I mean, leaving Deathwalker, leaving your solo laner in lane, when he's 1,000 gold ahead and 2 levels higher than anybody else on the map, that's like leaving 1,000 gold in your pocket without buying an item.
I'm okay for it for this minute or 2 now, just because I want him to finish the Breastplate of Valor as first, but after that, I want to see this spike, this rotation.
Yeah,
start to come out. Ooh.
We'll see what happens. Ataraxia getting shot from a distance, long range. Out of the basics, out of that. Well done.
Notice how he uses the bowler on the tower as well, guys, because when he hits the tower, the bowler splits and he gets more poke off. You can't hide behind a tower against a Xbalanque because he will still hit you.
2 very important Xbalanque specific plays happen right there. Not only using the bolas off of the tower, but also using the extra range provided by the ultimate to find the shots onto Ataraxia, pushing him out and getting a tier 1 tower.
Great work from Cyclone on that left-hand side. However, CaptainTwig is over here. And why did iceicebabyy just back like that? He backed in front. Sorry, not by iceicebabyy. Why did VoteNBK back and leave iceice alone? I guess iceice had his ult and tried to hold it in the end. That was a little bit risky. That was a little bit suspect.
I mean, you say a little bit risky.
It was a lot.
My man's iceicebabyy got out of there by the skin of his teeth.
Well, the problem with this now is I just saw Fafnir back at the same time. Callus went back to base, and I don't think Hungry for More recognize how little short-handed they are on this left-hand side now all of a sudden. Cyclone, they could pressure this tier 1 tower as a group here.
It's just VoteNBK, but he'll get helped out by a teleport. And that's going to stop Hungry for More. Very good teleport. Sometimes all you need to do is show presence. And like I said, finally, Deathwalker comes out of the solo lane.
But that's a good call from him as well, because now they can commit to the Gold Fury as well. Variety on the right-hand side has no teleport. He's going to get it over here soon. I want to see Cyclone go for the Gold Fury again, especially with the presence of Deathwalker here. Has that breastplate I was looking for online. Also bringing a shell to this fight as well.
And with Cyclone looking for this fight over the Harpies, Hungry for More know it, and they don't want to take the bait.
I just think they missed an opportunity there, Cyclone. They could have just hard committed on the Gold Fury overall there. Forced a 4v5. Variety would have turned up very late. Even if they don't take the Gold Fury there, they can force a fight that they could potentially win with the man advantage.
Not going to be the case for Cyclone. Instead, just holding on to the lead they've got right now. Almost 14 on the clock and almost 3,000 on their lead. You can see 3,300 specifically as CaptainTwig picks up his own speed.
For me, though, it's not a big enough lead so far for Cyclone to be like, yeah, okay, they've broken the back of the game already. They're in a good spot now. The benefit, though, I want to say, is Xbalanque, VoteNBK is having a very good season so far. Solid Suntouch last set, and this set as well, taking it to Ataraxia as well. Obviously, Ataraxia and Suntouch, even though I say both their names there, Ataraxia is a very defensive farming hunter. He doesn't go overly aggressive very often. Very similar side to Barracuda, I want to say, overall.
A little more passive.
VoteNBK is really showing that he's happy to fight. Very similar to Jermaine. We've seen some more of these hunters coming through again. He was on Justice, you know, years gone by, but this time around, a bit of a better team by the looks of it, a bit of a more organized team. He's able to show a little bit more stuff.
Absolutely, and yeah, definitely I agree. He's more on the aggressive side of the hunter scale. Definitely a little bit more Zapman than Ataraxia in the blood of VoteNBK.
I always compare him to Zapman and Barracuda as the two.
Yeah.
Barra's the defensive one, but still very fantastic hunter in position. Then you got Zapman, the more aggressive one. But obviously, everyone still uses Zapman as the option now, but he's not as aggressive as he used to be. Sadly.
No.
He's boring now.
I don't know about boring.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know about that one.
That's why I see him go ham every game. Bring back the Apollo days, man.
I'm always down for some good Apollo. And right now, Cyclone, they're doing a very good job of zoning the enemy off of the Gold Fury they're not taking.
I would have liked to actually see VoteNBK start the Gold Fury there instead.
There
Leave the rest of the three members there doing that zone duty, right? And have Xbalanque whack away. He's got Assi online, so he can lifesteal a little bit there. And just keep him pinned back.
And instead, Hungry for More going to be on the defense in the middle lane. Ice gets plucked, and he's going to just Berserker's Barrage on top of the target.
Here's the big issue I see coming out from this. Hungry for More not on the save wavelength with these plugs so far. I've seen a couple land from PANDALIKE, but the follow-up's not been there just yet. This time around, though, should be pulling it.
Yeah, I mean, it's right here. The Gold Fury is the object, is the objective, and Cyclone not willing to either hard commit to whether it's that or the play they want to make before the Gold Fury. A little bit of messing around here.
Did Kalash just throw that hammer over the wall?
I don't think so.
I thought I saw it stun through the wall onto PrettyPriMe. I'm very confused by that then. That's why I don't know what's going on.
Well, not going to be the case. Instead, the group up from Hungry for More now.
The drugs are kicking in and I can't feel it anymore. It's got all wrong. However, Hungry for More now with power play with Ymir being over here as well, both of them with teleport too. So, now that Ymir joins the fight, things change now because these walls and these freezes are going to cause him issues. Not only that, Frostbite passive kicks in if he connects. 10% reduction on all targets. He can really slow people down.
One of the maneuver changes to Ymir as well, so definitely going to make an impact in the team fights.
Well, it's also Vulcan. Vulcan's going to have a hard time against the Ymir as well because if he puts the wall behind him, you can't backfire anywhere, right? You're going in place at best. So then you're going to have a hard time getting frozen, stuck in a wall.
I mean, there's a lot of characters that really can't deal with the wall, right? The Xbalanque also in some trouble. And you're going to have to use ultimates for some of the other characters to really get out of there.
It's an interesting one, this, because Hungry for More, they want the plugs. PANDALIKE wants to find the plugs at the moment, but Cyclone not really wanting to give anything away. This is what I said about them earlier on in the split when I watched some of their games, is they find these leads, but at the same time, they're so scared sometimes to really push on the lead that they've already established and give something back to their opposition, that they can kind of just stall out the game too much sometimes.
Too much respect.
You've got to have respect in this league, though.
I mean, you have to.
Against teams like these, I mean, some of these guys have been around for years.
It's all about the balance, though, right? Too much respect, and you wind up just losing the game because you're afraid to make a move.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're talking about balance, then Hungry for More win because they've got Nemesis.
Oh, my goodness.
You like that one?
I entertained it for a moment.
You like that one?
No! I entertained it for a moment.
I mean, the scales are balanced, right?
I get it.
You get it?
Yeah, no, yes, I understand.
Good.
Do I like it? Different story. Hungry for More, halfway through the Gold Fury, and everybody doing their best zoning job. Up goes to the sky.
This is good for Hungry for More if they just disengage here. Like, if Twig doesn't get picked on this side here, this is really good.
But he could get picked very easily.
No, they just walk away. Now, Cyclone just used 2 ultimates for free there. When I say for free, we did see one out of PANDALIKE as well, right? But 2 big ultimates, 2 semi-global ultimates, and now down on the side of the Cyclone. And Hungry for More are going to try and abuse this.
Variety going to zone out of the top left side. Over here on the right, you've got a couple of players engaging. Deathwalker trying to get on top. Gold Fury no longer even a subject of conversation. All about the 3 team fights happening. Left side and right side split up into 2 on the left. Deathwalker in trouble. Gets slowed. No damage and no kill.
A lot of interesting things about Deathwalker there because he did a great job of zoning away Hungry for More there. They tried to run down CaptainTwig as Deathwalker did the best zoning work I've seen out of him so far, but nobody else dies. They don't find a pick. I'm so surprised after all the work Deathwalker put in that they don't find anything. They may get the gold though because of it, but it's still risky.
We'll see. 50%. A lot of damage coming out from Cyclone very quickly. Leashed one more time. Looking towards the Ram.
Uh-oh.
On the top. Over the side comes Ymir. Down comes the damage as well. Fantastic knockup out of PandaLike, Hindu Man. And a lot of players for Cyclone are low, and Ataraxia brings it home.
He gets 2, and now VoteNBK on the left forced out as well. You can see Hungry for More marching on, looking for more kills if they can. Something else, right? Not scared of diving a tier 2 tower looking for an extra bit of kill. But they will get a Gold Fury off this now. Now, what you actually saw there, more than anything else, it was really simple. Variety Water on the back.
Yeah.
Nobody saw him coming, and then immediately afterwards, Sobek goes in, Raijin goes in, and the fight is over.
Just Variety really making that play happen. Gets 2 or 3 players in the freeze, dropping the carpet underneath, and Hungry for More uses all that damage to push out 3 or 4 players and bring a kill down on the 5th.
And when you look back at that, that's all goes back to ward positioning, whether Cyclone knew about it, and actually being aware of where the opposition is on the map. Because Variety just able to walk around the back like that just completely won the fight. That one small play just made this an even game again. It's crazy.
One small play turns into a giant play. And that evens things up at the 20-minute mark. Everybody just looking for their next engagement.
I don't think we'll see the next engagement for a while, though. I think it's going to be, once again, a farm session, because Cyclone controlled this game for the most part, obviously with the tier 1 tower going on the left-hand side here, and Hungry for More, they've not been on pace in terms of where they want to be. Their engagements haven't been fantastic so far. The one engage there was more Cyclone not being aware of where Variety was than them committing very well as a team. It was not an ingenious play. It was a frost breath that set that up. That's all I wanted to say.
Which you got to watch your flank. You absolutely have to watch your flank. Cyclone trying to get this mid tower. Wlfy knocks away the jungler. And unable to really confirm at T1.
Well, he slows him down on the tier 1, but the tier 1 is on its last legs now as well, and that's an opportunity. I love Deathwalker. Keep going, keep going. Do not stop this whatsoever. Variety completely out of health here, and Variety needs to stay in tower range, really. He wants to keep juking into tower. If he would have stayed in tower range the whole time, this would have made it more damage on Deathwalker, but Thor's up as well.
Exactly, the reset, very important. Deathwalker going to retreat just a little bit, knowing that Hungry for More are here. The way the towers work, the more successive hits you take, the more damage it builds up. So when you're able to take a step back and reset it, you get dealt less damage.
Well, the one thing I didn't notice in that is Variety did have the Witchblade as well, which kind of slowed down Deathwalker's damage because of the protections and the attack speed as well for the in-hands. So underneath the tower, it would have taken a long time. Deathwalker still could have done that, though. At the same time as Variety just hung there long enough under the tower, Deathwalker could have died there as well.
Yep, exactly. Just a little bit, could have gone both ways. Instead, safe and sound, everyone across the way.
Surprised we didn't see, with Ice being over this right-hand side as well, they could have just farmed out the wave and pressured the tower, knowing Variety had to base there as well with no health. And you just keep him pinned there overall. Don't let him back. You could take the tower and force a rotation, which has now happened in favor of Hungry for More.
Yeah, we might see it from HFM. A little bit more invested in the jungle, I think.
Ataraxia. Fatalis. Liking it. Interesting.
I'm always a fan of the Fatalis on the Hunters.
I'm so-so on it.
I love it. We see it a lot of the Xbalanque, Allied and Transonics over on us on the SCL side of things. Allied when he was a player. The idea of the Xbalanque passive making up for some of the power you lose by going with Fatalis makes things up. But on any Hunter, Fatalis really just allows you to chase players down.
So we saw a little bit of interesting thing there. Tier 1 for Tier 1 got traded right and the middle side of things. But look at the left-hand side here. Cyclone are tactically beating Hungry for More here. They split them up, and they're going to get a left-hand tower because VoteNBK stays in lane. That ultimate, just to deny vision a little bit longer, allowed them to pick up the tower.
CaptainTwig wants to punish here. Not going to be able to. Well, there's a double dash into the wall. The ultimate from Ice will save the life of the jungle.
What did that minion do to you, PANDALIKE? There was no need for that.
He was just trying to get the play.
Picked on the brute. However, in the jungle, Variety going aggressive on VoteNBK. However, completely out of cooldowns now with that combo from Variety. He'll be able to limp back because his team is still there. Great play from Cyclone, though. Great play.
Just the macro play, looking towards the map versus the individual team fights. Cyclone actually find themselves in the lead now, almost 3,000 gold. They're going to have to watch out as it will be mitigated by at least 500 gained here should this tier 1 tower go down, and it will.
Well, you look at the gold overall, Tier 1 and Tier 1 in favor of Hungry for More. That's 1,000 gold. Meanwhile, it was 500 gold for the mid tower and then 1,500 gold for the left-hand Tier 2 tower as well. So overall, it's a 1,000 gold advantage for Cyclone for now.
Just for now, though. I mean, really, Hungry for More, exactly. Hungry for More are in a position to go ahead and take this Tier 2 tower for 1,500
They have to fight here. Deathwalker going to go in early with that ultimate, but now he's in trouble because he just used that. Surprised they don't look to commit on him a little bit heavier there after that down. I think the rotation from Callus really paused them in threat.
It was the angle of the flip coming out from PandaLike. Unfortunately, just threw the player right into the wall, unable to really make it happen. Here's Variety and CaptainTwig in tow. Variety looking to make the play.
He
Does
has
not
Blink.
have Blink available, though.
He has Blink, though, but he's still 50 seconds on
Exactly.
there, to say. So at the moment, he's kind of slowing things down because the only two that can really go in here is Sobek and Ymir for the commitment. And I think they really want the Ymir to have his Blink ready and be the initial one to allow Sobek to then weather the storm afterwards.
Exactly. Sobek's going to be able to find the plucks and a little bit more of the peel duty. And I think that's something that Hunger for More are sharing. And when it comes down to it, Variety's just been able to find these aggressive plays a little bit better than PandaLike in this game too. So trying to share it a little bit.
And it's actually good respect from Hungry for More to Cyclone's composition here as well, because you do have Deathwalker, who's level 20 in this game as well. Top 2 player damage in the game is Deathwalker and Wlfy on the Vulcan in the mid lane. They have to be a little bit respectful because if you try and dive this team under a tower, it may not work out as well as you hope.
Exactly. There's just too many options. There's too many abilities. There's too many tools on the side to really dissuade any aggression.
Mainly escape. Every single one of those has a fantastic escape from getting away from damage and danger overall there. Thor to the sky, you've got the ultimate from the Fafnir as well, which will just reduce it all as well. Only real risky one there is Wlfy.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Ice use his ultimate a number of times to escape damage, and Cyclone,
So we
no
saw
idea.
Gold Fury, but they do have an idea because they're doing Fire Giant at the same time, trying to sneak that one in response. Bad news is, though, Hungry for More had an idea that could have been going on. Variety was over there to stop it. Now we'll see a fight.
There's a freeze, and there's a lot of damage, and players jumping on board. Cyclone going to retreat after VoteNBK, and PrettyPriMe, he's chunked down, he's turned around, and the damage into Deathwalker, but look at Wlfy on the backside.
Iceice comes in, make sure he picks up Prime first of all. CaptainTwig in a bit of an awkward position on the left, isolated between two. He does have a buddy in tow there, that's Ataraxia, who will roll away, but Twig should fall down. Freeze from Variety will buy him a second. Not long enough now, and the wall will pin one alone, but Callus denies that idea as the dragon marches on.
Cyclone's got 5-man deep. They're coming down the mid lane. iceicebabyy takes out Ataraxia. 2 players alive. PandaLike going to be chased on down. Hinduman. VoteNBK leading the charge.
Stop chasing. Go for Fire Giant or a Phoenix. That's your options right now. 26 minutes in. Respawns are over 30 seconds long. Stop chasing the kills overall. Callus can do it, though. That's fine. Stop him backing. And PandaLike's trying to buy time here, but this is actually going against him more than anything else. Although, I will say having a Fafnir with Coerce with this team would have been a hell of a lot better than putting him on keep the Sobek busy duty.
Yeah, sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really mind it because the play is going to be the same. You see the tier 2 tower already gone. Phoenix already gone. Cyclone got what they came for.
There's a problem now,
Colossus and Sobek can do the dance.
There is a problem now, though, because they could have a 4v5 here, because if Sobek still falls on this left-hand side, it's a 4v5 for an additional 30 seconds plus, because Sobek doesn't fall down. The only difference is, I don't think Callus has got the damage to kill him, and he can keep sustaining off the minions more than anything else here.
Callus has a bunch of damage. You see him poking. But like
no,
you
he
said,
does not have a bunch of damage.
Panda with the...
He's always got as little damage as Terra does.
No, I mean, he's got a bunch of damage.
Listen. Fafnir's player damage actually comes from him coercing people. That's how his player damage is calculated. Remember that. He's not actually getting like 15, 20k. No, he's just coercing people to make him give him that number.
So what you're saying is Sobek's the guy?
Sobek's the man.
Yup, got him to say it. Summer is Sobek 2016.
Summer's over, though.
Well, it's going to be the winter of Ymir.
Time isn't here, yeah. It's true.
Well, we skipped a season, actually. Who's wrecking it here in autumn?
Winter
the autumn of Alquang.
Winter is coming. It's fine.
Alquang autumn.
No Alquang.
Alquang
sick
autumn.
of Alquang. Everybody's sick of Alquang.
He's banned so often.
Delete him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's the fall of Fafnir.
The fall of... Okay, I like that one. That was good. That was good. Fall of Fafnir, I'll take. However, Cyclone, though, even though they didn't get Fire Giant, that big team fight just kind of swung things in their favor now. They can pressure the right-hand side of the map, which is what they're doing. They don't have to take a fight because they've got 5 minions pushing mid lane. Let's just use what they've been doing all along. This seems like a very tactical team.
Yeah, they've just been going from objective to objective. Deathwalker, iceicebabyy going to be served up by PandaLike, but it doesn't seem to matter. Lurking in the waters comes out, and he'll be chasing down Wlfy. Ataraxia's ultimate on cooldown as well. Iceice in the sky, landing right on down to the middle of the team fight. But PrettyPriMe able to take out the Hunter. Jumping forward, it's going to be Fafnir, Dragon Form and all, trying to corral the teams into the crosshairs.
Deathwalker's doing a good job on the front line, though, as he picks up PandaLike as well. He's zoning back the weakened carries so they can't hang around and support their team. When somebody gets weak in a fight, you kind of want to hang around in the engagement and see if you can support with abilities from range all the time. What Deathwalker does is make sure you're completely out of that range. Like, you keep coming here, I will smash you in the face so hard. that'll make your head spin.
Deathwalker's having a good game here, 2-0-4.
The whole team is.
And the whole team is looking fantastic, but Deathwalker has seemed to be, at least in my eyes, Hindu, one of the characters on Cyclone that hasn't really caught up.
Well,
and when we see these newer teams come out, there's usually 3 or 4 players that are doing it,
yeah,
and one straggler. And here a couple of games in, Deathwalker picking it up.
Kind of agree with you on that one, because when I came into this, I did say to a few Europeans, like, Deathwalker seems to be the weakest link on this team. Is that right? And they're like, no, Deathwalker's actually really good. I'm like, really? Doesn't show that to me so far. This game he kind of has, but a lot of that has come from the early pressure from Ice on the Thor, which really set that up. And he was in a matchup against Ymir early on. It is just a farm fest as per usual. The pressure from the Thor really made that happen, however.
Thor, and again, Ice still the guy I'm looking at. Cyclone comes into the league, Hindu, and I go, all right, Wlfy, Collis, VoteNBK, I'm down. I like this squad. We'll see about these other 2 guys, but I like this squad. Ice has stolen the spotlight away from the other players in my eyes and has just been able to really enable his team into this winning position.
What's really taking my attention at the moment is with this split is how different things have started to go in terms of meta. Everyone's started to slow things down. It's not about kill whoring anymore. It's all about objective control, finding tactical advantages on the map over and over. And I'm sick of saying tactical today because I think I've said it so many times, but that's what it seems to be. It's all about objective focus, not going for kills and finding a big team fight that wins you the game. Sure. It's exploiting a weakness in the rotations coming out from the team. And as well, you can see that with Wlfy's build here, going for the Medjai's Blessing. It got changed again in terms of gold, so it's more efficient and cost-worthy now. We've seen it a bit more often, but this is the sign of a team that when they have a lead, they normally go damage, well, they used to. And then back in the old days when we went back to this sort of meta again, it was all, well, build defense, so it's even harder to kill us.
I mean, there's a Ymir and a Sobek. I certainly want a Medjai's Blessing here, dude. Great wall coming out from iceicebabyy to separate the team from his own. Fire Giant 25%. Coming in is hungry for more. Players using their abilities. Fire Giant going to be tossed out. There's a shot over the top. PrettyPriMe able to take out the target. Fire Giant finally going to be leashed, but Collis falls down, Hindu. 5 for hungry for more.
And that's the front line down, and also iceicebabyy just uses his ultimate to the back line there. Ataraxia can give chase. Vitalis is in effect here, so this is just allowing him to keep poke. And the moment he uses the hammer is the moment he's holding for the snipe.
Finds it! Gets the kill! That's number 6 for Ataraxia from a distance.
Really good play coming out from Hungry for More there. But more often than not, Cyclone showed a weakness in their game plan there. They started the Fire Giant up. The positioning at the Fire Giant was good, but they didn't drop it quick enough. Nobody on zone duty. And to when they say zone duty, they kind of were on zone duty, but they weren't prepared for Hungry for More to walk in. The Fire Giant got too low. And when the Fire Giant gets that low and the turret was still attacking it, Hungry for More actually picked it up to begin with, and that forced Cyclone to come back in. And when they came back in, the Soul Reaver, I want to say, coming out from Raijin. No, it wasn't a Soul Reaver. What was that big burst?
It's just Raijin, baby.
I guess.
It's just Raijin, baby.
We saw Deathwalker just like lose 50% of his health at the moment he engaged. I'm like, what was that from? I expected Soul Reaver.
And that's the chink in the armor of Cyclone. They've played a fantastic game, Hindu man, but it's all been, like you said, tactical. Tower here, tower there, tower here, tower there. Avoiding these giant team fights. Hungry for More had the upper hand of that team fight. Cyclone knew that, which is why they were avoiding it the whole time.
I mean, it was a mistake of the Fire Giant, that's all. They held the Fire Giant too long. You either reset it, when you get to about 40%, you're like, guys, are we committing or are we dropping? And if you've got a turret as well on your side with the Vulcan, that turret will keep attacking, which means it's still staying alive and aggroed, which means it's not resetting. So you've got to take that into account.
Jermaine knows all about that, huh? That was the first steal the other day. The turret keeping the Fire Giant alive. Jermaine takes to the sky.
And now the game's gone into Hungry for More's favor. They've got the gold lead for the first time in a long time, especially now with the Fire Giant on their side as well. It's just chip away at the towers, extend the gold in their favor a little bit more. We're approaching the 6 items now as well. And now Cyclone are kind of backed into a corner here. They've got to defend at some point. They've got a good defensive unit for this one. But most of the time, like you said, we've not been seeing them take fights.
Yeah, they've got to be careful. They want to look for these picks. Variety, this is a good shot, but look at Cyclone. They don't know where the opposition is.
I wouldn't mind seeing Thor potentially go for a backdoor at the Phoenix in mid lane.
Really?
It's a really weird one to say, but at the same time, Hungry for More are paying attention here at the towers, first of all. There's a lot of towers to take down. That is a weakened Phoenix in mid lane. It won't take too much to bring down. Build-wise, though, he's got a bit of penetration with that Titan's Bane online. He could look for a cheeky backdoor, force somebody to come back and ult away if he gets collapsed on potentially.
At the same time, Ice is really the driving force of these fights. He's needed here for Cyclone if they're going to defend against a tier 2 tower. Good wall, but it's going to disrupt the Sobek. PandaLike tossed out. out. Tower goes down. So does Deathwalker. Raxia starting the party up. Down comes Ice on the backside, but off to the front is Kalas, chased away.
Beautiful
Same
play.
with Ice.
Beautiful play from PrettyPriMe and Variety there. When iceicebabyy comes to the backside, misses the ultimate on Prime, but Prime just sanctuaries, keeps walking forward. Variety turns around, drops a wall, and talking about walls, there's another one! Wlfy gonna go down to Ataraxia again. The build is kicking in now. It's a full pen build coming out here.
Ataraxia just chewing through the opposition and not letting them run away either. Hungry for more. Take out the left side Phoenix. All that's available are 2 towers and 2 Firebirds. Hungry for more have a ton of time left on this Fire Giant.
Man, Cyclone's turning into this team, Tom, where I'm just sat here every single time going, they actually look really good, but I don't think we're going to win games. Like, it's going to be really frustrating for me because it's just small things that are coming up against them every single time, it seems.
Well, they're a very young team, Hindu Man. They're going to have to keep going to the drawing board and learning from these situations. What went wrong? What went right? This is their first split as a team. Keep that in mind.
But it's a good split as well. I mean, it's a learning experience, and the best thing is these first 4 weeks of online play, they're going to get to come to LAN as well, which will give them even more of a boon of learning what goes on behind the scenes and understanding how the scene really works for themselves too. They've learned a lot from this split so far, and if they can take this into LAN with them going forward, then that will help them out more.
There's a good flip onto Kalas, and he's gone as quickly as he came. Double digits for HFM. This right side Phoenix going to fall down as well, folks. Cyclone have one more opportunity to play defense here. Hungry for More going to back off just a little bit.
I will say all the credit I gave to Cyclone for their performance in this set. Hungry for More have come out once more again, really showing their experience overall in the games,
That's the key.
playing to their play style of what their composition is built around and what to do, and exploiting the mistakes the Cyclone came out with there. You know, they really exploited it with the Fire Giant just then, won a team fight off it, and now they're going to win the game potentially off it too.
Experience.
Yeah. It comes into play.
That's the key factor. It's the experience. Don't show me the charts. I mean the experience playing the game of Smite. And that's where Cyclone, you know, that's where they sort of, I don't want to even say drop the ball because it's insinuating that they did something wrong. They just haven't had the opportunity to learn as much as Hungry for More.
And it's not playing the game because most of these guys, some of these guys at Cyclone have been around for a long time too. The difference is playing at the top level of the SPL.
Stage.
Yeah, when you play in the SPL stage week in, week out, and all you do is play top opposition. You know, Challenger Cup, every single week that you go to the Challenger Cup, you generally go first round's a walkover, second round's a walkover, quarterfinals, bit of an interesting match, semi-finals, a little bit tougher, finals is where it's at. Well, basically every week of the SPL for these teams is now finals.
Exactly.
Every single time.
And I mean, don't forget, Hungry for More just last split. Week 1 was expected to be a number 8 team. Week 2, still the same thing. Week 3, week 4, all right, maybe this team can do something. And then surprise, they're at DreamHack. Cyclone could very much do the same thing.
That was a really impressive glacial strike from Variety there. I just want to point that one out. Oh, that one's even better. That one was even better. So for Variety and anybody else watching at home as well at the end of this broadcast, when it flashes, it's about to spawn. If it's not even flashing yet, don't waste your cooldowns for no reason, because it could come back to haunt you.
At least it's just a glacial strike. I don't think that's going to be the case. 50% already on the objective. Cyclone just gated out, watching. Ice in the sky. Fire Giant leashed.
You only get one shot at this to Cyclone, and now with Thor in the sky, the opportunity is missed.
And so Fire Giant now going to be aggressed on. I won't take your bait, Hindu Man.
I was trying.
Halfway down, Cyclone looking for it. Everybody going to join the party as well. Very low, 25%. Fire Giant going the way of Hungry for More. Taking it the way they came. And again, Ataraxia just piling in these shots, using Sanctuary to avoid Wlfy's damage. And still, Hungry for More on the chase.
VoteNBK trying to swing around the back as Deathwalker's being pushed back in now. But you can't go in there as VoteNBK. He traded 1 for 1 though. That's quite interesting between the two. Those two killed each other.
Raxia trying to chase down Ice. Can't make it happen. Still on guard. Kalas going to be grouped up and met. And there's CaptainTwig
Dragon Slayer
taking him out.
Dragon Slayer indeed, and over on the left-hand side, Ataraxia will pick up an extra kill for the stat lines there, making him 5-1 and 6 for the day. Wlfy, bit of trouble there against the Ymir, and he's going to swing around straight into CaptainTwig on the Nemesis.
Instead, CaptainTwig picks up Wlfy. 4 players down, only one alive is Deathwalker, and ain't nobody looking at him. It's all the Chaos Titan, and down it goes. Cyclone watch as Hungry for More take game 2 in a devastating defeat.
And that puts Hungry for More back at the top of the standings, I believe, over in Europe with that one as well. Obviously, Cyclone still on 2 points, I believe, so far this split. Maybe I'm right. Yeah, it was 2. Hungry for More 9. Damn, I'm wrong.
Just barely.
Damn.
Paradigm with a fantastic performance against Sanguine as well, secures them. Energy can go ahead and tie up today if they do take out Cringe Crew, but Hungry for More wind up sticking at number 2. as they take the win over Cyclone.
I do like the look of both those teams, especially with Cringe Crew looking so weak just lately in their performances. Looking at Cyclone there as potentially one of these, and Dignitas too, to be fair, not look great either. Like, looking at potentially Cyclone catching up to those two already with these performances. Fantastic as well, finding wins. Like, so a bit closer in Europe than expected. There's still a divide between 1 and 2 and the rest.
For sure.
Whereas NA is a kind of different story where it's like 1 to 7.
A little bit more mix up.
Yeah.
But either way, a lot of competition coming out from these guys all across the board. Cyclone even looking very, very smart there, doing very well there as well.
Variety in that game as well, on the Ymir once more. Got focused very, very early on in the game, but came back in, made an impact for his team, as you'd hope him to do. And it was, this Goal Fury was where it all started to turn around.
Like you said, nothing too crazy, just a good old-fashioned freeze. And there's the crazy knock-up coming out of Panda, like a wall to separate everybody else. And this, like we said, not a lot of kills, just pushing everybody out of the fight. And then you're able to go ahead and clean up and take the objective.
And it worked out well for him as well. I mean, obviously getting the Goal Fury off that, ended up swinging things into getting towers, and then the Fire Giant later on, blah, 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 blah. So that over and over again. Yeah.
No. Not the case for Cyclone. Can't clean it
Not this
up.
time round.
Just too clean coming out from the other side. And with gameplay like that, Ataraxia and his team might find themselves at Worlds if they can make it through Super Regionals.
So can you.
All you gotta do is buy tickets.
hi-rez.com. Go and head over and buy your tickets there as well. You can meet us and a few other people as well and watch some of the best teams in the world compete at some of the best games hi-rez has to offer.
Absolutely. Coming up next is going to be Energy taking on, well, whoever they feel like taking on. We'll be right back with Energy versus Cringe Crew.